Hey there. This is going to be a short tutorial on how to use material instancing in Unreal. What is material instancing? Material instancing is instead of creating a new set of shaders and materials for materials that are very common, that use the same kind of general instructions and have the same node setup, we can instead instance them, which helps us set them up quicker in Editor and actually gives us a really big performance boost by batching together similar materials, reducing the need to compile extra shaders and reducing the amount of separate instructions that need to be sent to the GPU at runtime. So in order to create a material instance, we need two things. We need a base material, also called the parent material, that's going to basically define the behavior of the material. And then we need the instance itself, which we can create as many of as we can in order to leverage the structure of that first one. So the most useful type of parent material that you can have is one that mimics the most common material usage. And in my case, that is the channel packed PBR that Substance Painter exports. So an example is right here. I've got a base color, a normal map, and then occlusion, roughness, metallic all packed together into another texture. So I'm going to create this a lot like I would create my regular materials. So I'm just going to create a new one. I'll call that M underscore, I'll call it Packed Pbr. Okay. So seems like business as usual here, but there's one slight difference to how we're going to approach this. Instead of using regular texture samplers, we're going to use texture sample parameter 2D. This one right here. Okay, so that first one I'm going to call base color. Copy that a couple times. There's our base color, there's our normal, and then there's our channel packed occlusion, roughness, metallic. Okay. So again, these are parameters, which means they're like conduits for textures, but these don't actually contain textures themselves. So I'll plug this in as I normally would. So the RGB from base color goes into base color, normal goes into normal, and then the tricky one, occlusion, roughness, metallic. Remember, occlusion is R, roughness is the second one, G, and metallic is the third one, B. Great. And the last thing I need to do is I need to make sure that my normal texture sampler is set up correctly, because normal samplers have something different expected of them. So I'm going to make sure this is set to default normal, and then that changes the sampler type to normal. If it doesn't, you need to check that as well yourself. So that should be it. That's all I want for the complexity of this material. So I'll give that a close. So now I can right-click on this instance, and at the very top I have the option to create a material instance of this material. So I'll do that. So call this one M local man, my local man. So this is going to look a little different when I open it up. So when I open this up now, let's resize that a little bit. I don't get the node view that I normally do because the node view exists in the base material. So you can see here, parent material is set to the packed PBR that I built. And all I have here now is 3 texture channels, right? Those are the parameters that I set up for this. So if I checkbox these all, I get to override them. I get to create references here. So actually, I'll just drag these in because I can see them here. So there's my base color, there's my normal map, and there's my channel packed occlusion, roughness, metallic. Save that, and then just throw that onto my local man. There we go. Oh, one more thing is when your materials are an instance of another material, it's a good idea to throw the underscore inst suffix into its file name just to make your project a little more readable. So this is a best practice to keep your game a little more optimized. And honestly, I find it much easier to just pick 3 textures instead of noodling up a whole node network every time I've got a new unique material